Yeah. So then after this, after Rudra, then Brahma begot 10 sons for the process of extension of generations. 10 sons. So they are named over here. Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Brigu, Vasishta, Daksha, and Narada. These 10 sons are born from Lord Brahma. And it is described that along with these 10 sons, now one by one, so in the 12th chapter, from verse, I think verse 13 onwards till about 40, okay, around 25 odd verses are there. In those verses, one by one, it is just mentioned कि what Brahma created. डिटेल नहीं दिया जाता, खाली बताया जाता है कि ये एक रीड किया है, बट इट इज वंडरस व्हेन वी रीड इट. It is wondrous. Okay, it is amazing. The Vedas then manifested from his four mouths. So Brahma has four heads. From his four heads, the four Vedas manifested. Which are those? Rig Ved, Samaved, Yajurved, and Atharva Ved. So the four Vedas are created, are coming from his mouth. Okay. These Vedas, in the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, these Vedas were imprinted in his heart by the Supreme Lord Krishna. It was imprinted in his heart. It is not read it anywhere. In the past, till the age of Kali Yuga started, all this Vedic knowledge was never written down. It was not in form of textbook. ये textbook ये सब ये खाली Kali Yuga का ये है, characteristic. In previous ages, it was all Smruti. Shruti and Smruti. Shruti means hearing and Smruti means remembering. They would just remember, hear and remember. Because their mind was not filled with garbage. Today, our minds are filled with so much garbage. The garbage ka koi, it is unlimited. I don't recommend you do this, but unfortunately, I've done it once or twice, and I am admitting over here. YouTube open किया, YouTube में एक कुछ picture दिख गया, something interesting. You click on that, then next one, then next one, then next one, then next one. You can go on till the end of creation. मतलब जब तक ब्रह्मा का डे एंड नाइट खत्म नहीं होता ना, यूट्यूब चलते रहेगा. Because there are people making lakhs of videos every day. Every day there are lakhs of people all over the world, lakhs of them creating videos. Some are creating big 15-20 minute, 1 घंटे का video, and some are creating a small 1 minute का video. Insta feed, YouTube reel, Facebook reel बोल के छोटा बना रहे, non-stop चलता है. So what is happening with all that? Can you just think? Anyone would like to share? Anyone has ever been victim to this? देखा बोलने का जरूरत नहीं, देखा तो होगा. मतलब you don't have to admit कि मैंने भी देखा. सबने देखा है. अभी देखा तो when you start scrolling on this, anyone would like to share what happens to your brain?
pleasure continuously वो साइकिल में रहता है. तो बेसिक एट टाइम्स ऐसा भी होता है कि मैं कंटेंट क्या आ रहा है मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ा, मैं बस स्क्रॉल कर रहा हूँ. करेक्ट. कंटेंट क्या चल रहा है कुछ पता नहीं, कंटिन्यू स्क्रॉल करते हैं. करेक्ट.
So we keep scrolling. Sometimes even the content is irrelevant and ridiculous, but we still keep watching. What purpose we have started that video? Why we started we forgot. और कुछ चल रहा है. It is almost like a hypnotic state. We go into a state of samadhi. YouTube समाधि में चले जाते हैं. यहाँ पे लिटरली हमको और कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है. ऐसा एवरीथिंग एल्स, वहां पे बेटी बैठी है, वहां बेटा बैठा है, वाइफ बैठी है, सब पिताजी बैठे हैं, सब लोग बैठे हैं. शून्यायतम जगत सर्वम. सिर्फ वो दिखता है आपको, एक के पीछे एक स्क्रोल हो रहा है, खट. So much garbage going into our brains. Can you imagine? Each of them is leaving some imprint on your brain. Each video. You may feel that I am not watching, मेरा ध्यान भी नहीं, you are. Each of them is leaving an imprint. Each of them is possibly creating a desire in your heart, in your mind. एक desire create हो गया. You saw some beautiful person, desire create हो गया. You saw some beautiful object, एक desire create हो गया. आपने एक inflammatory speech सुना किसी politician का, आपके मन में anger आ गया, ईर्ष्या आ गया, right? Each of these is creating, it's like planting one seed. That seed is going to fructify. If you continue watering that seed is going to fructify and generate one more life for you. Punarapi jananam. Desire है तो चलो उसको fulfill करने के लिए फिर से जन्म लो. I mean, if we stop to think about what we are doing, we'll be shocked the amount of things we are doing which are harmful to our body. चलो smoking, drinking तो hopefully devotees तो करते ही नहीं होंगे, right? We don't do. But even these things are not good. They are harmful to your body, they are harmful to your mind, they are harmful to your soul, right? So much garbage is there, therefore we can't remember what we need to remember. याद ही नहीं रहता है. मुझे तो बहुत like a few days back I met one colleague, ex-colleague from my SAP days. So he was talking to me about various things. And then he started telling me, "Arey, मैं कभी-कभी तेरे दिखता है videos, And he said, "I have started reading Gita also." I said, "वाह, गीता पढ़ने चालू क्या? कौन सा गीता पढ़ रहा है?" बोलता है वो पटनायक है ना वो, देवदत्त पटनायक, सत्यानाश, देवदत्त पटनायक का भगवद गीता पढ़ रहा है. And then some other name also he took. So we were talking about Gita, and I told him, अच्छा देवदत्त पटनायक जो गीता बोलता है, उसका conclusion क्या है? What is the conclusion? He said, we should do karma, apna karm karna chahiye, do our activities, should do our duty. यही है गीता का सार. I said, उसने गीता पढ़ा है कि नहीं, but तूने पढ़ा क्या? He said, मैंने तो यही पढ़ा है, right? So then we started discussing, about Gita. I started telling him, Gita is not just this. If it's only about do your duty, why would it be 700 verses? 2 वर्ष में खत्म हो जाता. Krishna would, Arjuna would say, I am bewildered. Krishna would tell him, भाई भगवान है, मेरे को बोल रहे तेरा ड्यूटी कर, चुपचाप चल खत्म, finished, get started, चलो जाओ. The whole Gita is not about just duty, it is about for whom to do the duty, in what consciousness to do duty, how to do duty. सब कुछ explain किया है गीता में. What stops us from duty? Everything is explained in Gita. And what is the prime duty of human being? सब कुछ explain किया है. Suppose it is not duty, it is much more than that. So we are talking about, the different topics that are discussed in Gita, 5 topics. There is, there is Jiva, then Bhagwan, then Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. These are 5 main topics. And we are talking about 4 more. And बीच में I was trying to quote a few verses also. Sometimes एक दो verse. And एन वक्त पे ना वो वर्स याद नहीं आता है. You remember the second line, third line, first word. अगर first line बोल दिया ना तो कट बाकी का वर्स आ जाता है. First word नहीं आया तो नहीं आता है. It becomes a struggle for us. Garbage. Because we feel, and I'm candidly telling you, see, there is nothing to hide here. We all know what we are doing. We are filling our mind with so much garbage that what really matters when you need it, हमारा भी कर्ण हो जाता है. कर्ण का कैसा होता है, जब उसको तुमको जरूरी, जब जो वो चीज जरूरी है वो अस्त्र तुमको याद नहीं आएगा. मेरा वैसे ही हो रहा था, तो वो अस्त्र याद नहीं आ रहा था. Trying to quote a verse from Gita, I was struggling over there. And finally, I opened the verse and I said, "Baba, ये verse, take it." Right? Luckily, everything is there on the phone now. It's easy. But yeah, we put so much garbage, therefore we can't. So the Vedas and all this emanated from the mouth of Brahma. Then after that, he created the Upavedas. Okay, I'm just going now. I'll go very quickly because we're already a little late. Upavedas. Okay, medical science, Ayurveda. Mentioned, Srimad Bhagavatam mentions. He created the Ayurveda. He created military art, Dhanurveda. He created musical art and architectural sciences. Architectural sciences. अगर कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग है, उसे तो घर लगता है, शेल्टर लगता है. So even the science of architecture, how to create homes, is created by Brahma. Isn't it? अरे क्या कितना सोच है व्यक्ति का, कितना सब सोच सोच के बनाया है, right? Many things he says, all from the fifth Veda. He created the fifth Veda, which is the Puranas and the Itihasas. You know, sir, Puranas, मुझे भी एक सेकंड के लिए build है Puranas. अभी तक तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं, तो Puranas कैसे होएगा? अभी तो creation कर रहा है, तो Puranas कहाँ से आया है? हाँ? Because as we discussed last time, that's why time का chapter last time miss किया, तो थोड़ा सा bewildering हो सकता है. But time is eternal. The yugas keep repeating. At some point of time, Brahma, his day is over, his night is over, and he gets bewildered again. Again, creation starts. So, what has happened before that is there in the Purana. So, at the start of creation, again, those Puranas manifest. Puranas and Itihasas. Which is why in the Srimad Bhagavatam, sometimes you'll read one story and you'll read another version of that story. It doesn't. ये क्या चल रहा है? ये क्या चक्कर है, right? Like today, one of the things we are going to be discussing is like that. So the appearance of Lord Varaha, right? तो वो अभी आज हम लोग discuss करेंगे, time permitting. So like that, right? So they are not chronological events. Srimad Bhagavatam mein, it is not a chronological event. It is like, suppose we are having a discussion, okay? Having a discussion about क्या example दूं मैं? Let's suppose we are having a discussion about sales, okay? Because I am salesperson, so I will talk sales. Sales का कोई discussion कर रहे हैं हम लोग, तो मैं जो examples दूंगा, somebody will tell me कि ये इसका क्या concept है, ये ऐसा कैसे होता है, ये कैसे, ये situation हो तो customer को क्या बोलेगा? You know, if someone asks me in my training, I don't give them chronological answers, no. I will not tell them that in 1997, when I joined ICI, that time this had happened. No, I may give him an example that happened day before yesterday. And then suddenly I'll jump to an example that happened in 2001. Then I'll jump to something that happened in 2008. Then I'll jump to something that happened before when I was in college. Examples will go back, forth, something I tell him for something before I was born. My grandfather had told me this story. Right? Like I tell the story of the scissor, no? Scissor का story. याद है ना सबको scissor का story? नहीं याद है? कितनी बार, दो बार तो बोला है मैंने यहाँ पे, नहीं? Remind me to tell the story of scissor later. Okay, अभी time नहीं है. But so different. So I will keep going back and forth. Bhagavatam is like that. Based on the situation, the question that is being asked, that speaker at that moment quotes some story from the Puranas or from Itihasas, which may have happened many, not yugas, but yuga cycles back, many manvantaras back. Okay, like that. So this is the concept. So like that, he creates this fifth Veda, various other things that are described in this 12th chapter. He creates some the vowels and the 5 classes of consonants. You know, I think about a year or 2 years back, during this last 1 or 2 years, during lockdown period, Radha Gopinath Prabhu had once taken a Bhagavatam class. I don't know how many of you heard it, but in that Bhagavatam class, he had given a full scientific description of how Sanskrit is the most scientific language. Okay, and each जो क ख ग घ वो जो है ना, जो क्या बोलते हैं इसको, वर्णमाला. ये जो वर्णमाला है, he said that each category there, its sound is all related to each other. So there'll be one category in which the tongue touches the palate. There'll be one which you just speak from inside, the sound comes. There's one in which the lips need to touch. So scientifically it has been described, it has been created. This Varnamala is not just every some letter together. My ABCD is like that, no. ABCD ऐसे डाल दिया किसी ने, चलो यार ये letters हैं, right? It's extremely scientific, which is why they say it's the most best language for even learning coding. उससे अच्छा कोई language नहीं है. So anyway, so he created all this. I'll just quoting one more. Pankti, the art of writing verse. वर्सेस, ये जो वर्सेस हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, वो वर्सेस कैसे लिखना है, वो आर्ट आल्सो इज क्रिएटेड. Many things he has created. I'm not going into the details. So like this. But after creating these 10 sons, after doing all this, he was observing that abhi bhi kuch khas ho nahi raha hai procreation. Okay. So, and while he is wondering what to do, like this, he is meditating that my Lord has given me an instruction of procreation, but I'm not able to do my service properly. So while he's thinking like this, from his body manifested two forms. One was Svayambhuva Manu. Svayambhuva Manu and his wife Shatarupa. Both manifested from the body of Brahma. Okay. And it is described that this Svayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, Manu, this Manava comes from Manu. So Manu is the original father and procreator of all mankind. So they had 5 children, 2 sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrat, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Akuti was married to a rishi called Ruchi. Devahuti was married to a rishi called Kardama, and Prasuti was married to Daksha. Daksha is called Daksha Prajapati. Prajapati means one who is a procreator, who is uska basically core competency is procreation. You know, so that is what he was created for. So from these 3, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti, these 3 daughters, from them the whole population of the world increased. This is how it is described. Okay. So after giving this description, in the next chapter, 13th chapter, Vidura says, I want to hear, because Manu, he just touched. Touch kiya, zyada nahi bola. So, and this is how Bhagavatam goes also. It is like a conversation, right? So, someone says something and then, you know, the person who's listening after some time asks a question कि आपने ये मनु के बारे में बोला, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, बहुत बताओ ना, tell me more. Tell me more about Manu. So, then Maitreya continues describing about Manu. So he says that after Manu appeared from the body of Brahma, he asked Brahma, how can I serve you? You know, there's a difference here. You see the very significant difference that Prabhupada makes between the appearance of the 4 Kumaras and Manu. 4 Kumaras, after they were born, what did they do? Father told them to serve, and they said, sorry, sir, hum to nahi kare, humse nahi ho paaye. Right? But Manu, very humbly, he asks Brahma that how can I serve you? So it is described over here. So this is 13th chapter entitled Appearance of Lord Varaha. So over here, Manu respectfully addressed Brahma. He says, you are the father of all living entities and the source of their sustenance. Please instruct us how we may serve you by acting according to our capacity and thus get fame in this life and a superior destination in next life. So when his first 4 sons, previous 4 sons, the Kumaras disobeyed his order, you know, he was mortified. Brahma was like, my God, yaar, ye kya seva kar raha hu main aur ye log kuch sun nahi rahe. So he was a little disappointed by that. But when Manu asked this very respectful question, that how can I serve you? And Brahma was very happy. And Brahma says, he says, all blessings to you. He says, I am pleased with you because of your heartfelt surrender unto me with no reservation. O hero, a sane person who is beyond envy, adores and accepts the instructions of a superior with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. So, it's a very good lesson here that Brahma has given. I'll just repeat once more. I am pleased with you because of your heartfelt surrender unto me with no reservation. See, when we are given instructions by anybody, हम लोग उसको दिल से एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते. Our problem is in our mind. We are so conditioned to enjoyment. We are so conditioned. We are calculating in our mind. While somebody is telling you something, you should, if you are a grihastha, you should think about bringing deities into your home. घर में गौरनीताएं लेके आओ या लड्डू गोपाल लेके आओ, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा लेके आओ, उनकी रोज थोड़ी आराधना करो, बहुत इलेबोरेट मत करो, कुछ तो स्टार्ट। हम लोग अपने माइंड में कैलकुलेशन स्टार्ट करते हैं इमीडिएट व्हाइल द इंस्ट्रक्शन इज गोइंग ऑन, वी आर नॉट लिसनिंग, heartfelt acceptance is not there, we are calculating। अगर मैं लेके आऊंगा तो मुझे रोज करना पड़ेगा आरती, मतलब सुबह न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने को कहाँ टाइम रहेगा, फिर एवरी फ्यू डेज उनको ड्रेस भी करना पड़ेगा, बात भी करना पड़ेगा, ये कौन करेगा, ये मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा। We are calculating, we are not listening, we are not accepting. It's very unfortunate, right? But Brahma is saying that you are accepting. I'm very pleased with that, right? No reservation. He says, one who is beyond envy adores and accepts the instructions of a superior. Adores and accepts. So because the superior has been given instruction, they adore it. They're very happy. I'm so glad you gave me this instruction. Because me with my limited intelligence, मुझे क्या समझ में आता है? हम लोग कौन से कोई महाविशारद है वेदों में, नाम है हमारा, किसी किसी का नाम होगा द्विवेदी, त्रिवेदी, चतुर्वेदी, you know, but we are not even Vedi. We are nobody, right? But still, you know, we don't understand anything. So if someone elder than us is giving us an instruction, someone who is himself, you know, Veda Parangat, who is expert, who is follower of Vedas, is giving us instruction, you should accept it like this. So Brahma is appreciating Kitu, you're adoring and accepting the instruction of a superior with great delight. Okay, a sane person who is beyond envy adores and accepts instruction of the superior with great delight. So adaram. So not that यार ये क्या बोल दिया यार, अभी तो करना पड़ेगा, अभी बोल रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट टाइम पूछेंगे आपने जपा चालू किया क्या, आपने बोला भागवतम खरीदो, मैंने खरीद लिया, अब पूछेंगे पढ़ा क्या, क्या यार, इनका खत्म ही नहीं होता कभी। हाँ, लगता है ये प्रोग्राम में आना बंद करना पड़ेगा, right? So you know, we don't accept with adaram, we accept grudgingly, which is why we don't get the benefit. जो भक्ति का जो फल है, आप अगर मुंह खट्टा करके वो फल को एक्सेप्ट करेगा, आपको फल स्वादिष्ट लगेगा ही नहीं, you'll never appreciate. We have to know that this is medicine. When I am sick, you know, if I have got TB, I have to have medicine. नहीं वो कड़वा है, अरे कड़वा है बट तेरे को लेना पड़ेगा, नहीं मेरा वो गले से उतरता नहीं, अरे बाबा लेना पड़ेगा नहीं तो मर जाएगा, you will die a horrible death, right? So you will take it, whether you like it or you don't like it, it is medicine, it's going to save your life, you have to take it, right? Same way, this is spiritual medicine. If we don't accept it, then we will again take birth. पुनरपि जननम, पुनरपि मरणम, वही है, वही चलते रहेगा, एंड वही चलते आया है, जन्म जन्मांतर से यही चलते आया। अगर ये साइकिल को तोड़ना है, मेडिसिन तो लेना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो आदरम, राइट? एंड देन एग्जीक्यूट्स इट टू हिज फुल कैपेसिटी। ऐसे नहीं कि अच्छा अभी बोला है तो करेंगे, अच्छा चलो स्माइल करके करेंगे। प्रभु जी ने भी वो भी रूल आउट कर दिया कि मतलब मैं आई कैन नॉट इवन शो माय रिजेंटमेंट व्हेन यू नो इंस्ट्रक्शन इज गिवन, आई हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट विद अ स्माइल। थैंक यू प्रभु, यू आर सो काइंड टू मी, यू आर गिविंग मी दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन, आई विल ट्राई टू फॉलो, बट देन आई विल नॉट डू टू माय फुल कैपेसिटी। मैं तो इतना ही करेगा, हमसे नहीं होगा। We are losing out, that's all I can say. You know, I feel, you know, even my life, when I came, my parents came to bhakti in 1992, 30 years back, 31 years, 31 हो गए, मार्च में 31 होता। So when they came to bhakti, at that time there were only around 200 devotees in our temple, 200 लोग ही थे। सबको डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट विद राधानाथ महाराज, डायरेक्ट, मतलब हमारे घर में, मैं जहाँ खार में रहता था पहले, हमारे घर में महाराज वुड कॉल अप दैट आई एम गोइंग टू द एयरपोर्ट, आई एम गोइंग टू ड्रॉप इन ऑन द वे टू योर प्लेस। ही वुड कॉल अप एंड से आई एम कमिंग टू योर प्लेस। एंड मैं तभी क्या करता था, मैं डोर बंद करके, रूम लॉक करके रूम के अंदर बैठता था। नहीं मेरे को नहीं मिलना, कहीं मैं डिवोटी बन गया तो मेरे को नहीं जाना है. I would not go to the room. I would just, when he came, I would open the door, I would pay obeisances and rush inside. मेरे को पढ़ाई करना है, मेरे को बहुत पढ़ाई है. अरे कोई पढ़ाई वढ़ाई नहीं, वहां अंदर बैठ के टाइम पास करता था. But I would not even come out. And then when he is leaving, my mother would knock, say, Siddharth, come out. Just leaving. I would come out again, I would pay obeisances and smile, थोड़ा artificial smile देके करके निकल जाता था. Now I became devotee 5 years later. Became devotee, but I got connected to devotees. Let's say 5 years later. And तब मुझे जब when I came into the movement and I got connected, I realized what a fool I am. मैं क्या कितना मौका था मेरे पास. तभी I could have, he is coming to your house यार. मतलब इससे ज्यादा क्या तुमको चाहिए. साधु is coming to your house, मांग के आ रहे, खुद आ रहे. और तुम बेवकूफ रूम के अंदर बैठ के वॉकमैन पे walk like an Egyptian सुन रहे हो बेवकूफ जैसा. So we regret afterwards because we have not put our full capacity. Don't shortchange yourself. I don't know what the simple word for that is, but अपने आप को धोखा मत दो. हाँ, वो जो था ना पहले, self deceit. Don't deceive yourself. Don't cheat yourself by holding back. Give away. Give. Prabhupada said, you have given so many lifetimes to Maya. कितने जन्म जन्मांतर से आप माया में, माया के लैप में सोए हो. जन्म जन्मांतर से सोए हो. One lifetime give it to Krishna. One. At least one. इसके बाद नहीं जमा, चलो go back to Maya. Maya is to anyway waiting with her arms open. आजा बेटे, आजा वापस. Come back and sleep again in my lap. Right? She is waiting for us. But one lifetime give to Krishna. Full capacity. That's why Brahma is very pleased with Manu, right? And then he tells, okay. He gives him 3 instructions. He says that beget children who are similar to you in quality. 3 instructions. Now, Manu is a Grihastha, like you and me. He is Grihastha. He has a wife. So he says, beget children similar to you in quality, rule the earth religiously, and worship the Lord through sacrifices. By doing this, the Lord will be pleased. So this is the instruction that he gives to Manu. Now these instructions are given by whom? Original father Brahma to Manu, but they are applicable to us as well, right? What is the meaning? What is the connection with us? Beget children similar to you in quality. As Grihasthas, it is a duty to have children. आजकल तो वो भी फैशन नहीं है. आजकल people are getting married, they don't want to have children. Why? मेरा करियर में ब्रेक आ जाएगा. करियर कौन, बच्चे को कौन संभालेगा? Right? Because everyone is staying in nuclear family. Nobody is staying with their with their parents. So then अगर बच्चा हो भी गया तो बच्चे को कौन संभालेगा? तो बच्चा ही मत करो. People have tried to have children when they're 32, 33, 35. When it's too late, that's when they decide to have children. So, and the children similar to you in quality. This point is that if you are a devotee, try to beget a devotee child. There is a concept called Garbhodaka Samskar, where how to invite a soul into your your wife's womb. There is a process. It's all given in the Shastra. हमको पता नहीं है, उसलिए हम लोग we just treat it like a sexual union between a man and a woman. There is so much in our scriptures. So beget children similar to you in quality. Rule the earth religiously. I don't rule. I'm not a ruler. How is it applicable to me? What is your earth? What is your domain? What you are working, what you are doing business, which home you are managing, whatever you are doing, do your duty religiously. Do it for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, right? And then worship the Lord. These 3 things is all Brahma tells. As a Grihastha, do your duty religiously, have nice children like you are. He has just described what you are, right? He said that you are obedient, you're enthusiastic, you are, So have children like you only. Do your duty and worship them. That's a very important thing. And it is already time. I'll just cover the last part quickly. So after this happens, Manu says, "Yes, my lord, I will do my service." And then Manu asks Brahma that what will be our place of residence? Like Rudra asked, "Where will I stay?" Manu also asks, "Where will we stay?" Because the Earth planet is submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean. Why is that happened? We discussed last time. There is a partial dissolution where the lower and middle planetary systems are submerged under the ocean of destruction. Therefore, the Earth is submerged under the water. So where do the living entities live? Kahan rahenge? So can you please help to retrieve the Earth? So Brahma, when he hears this, okay, he starts contemplating how can this be done. अब ये अर्थ को कैसे ये गर्भोदक ओशन से बाहर निकाला जाए. And he's praying to the Lord for his help. At that time, from his nose, Nasika, from his nose, a boar comes out of his nose. Boar means not khane wala boar, B-O-A-R, boar.
I do not want to commit for anywhere because
wild boar. A wild boar, small, tiny, comes out of his nose. And it is described, it is whitish body. Shvetavaraha. So this Shvetavaraha, he comes out of the nose of Brahma, and in front of the eyes of Brahma and all the assembled, Manu and everyone, he starts growing in the sky. He starts growing and growing and growing. Like an elephant, he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And he starts flying in the sky and he starts roaring. He roars tumultuously. He roars. And he's flying through the sky, slashing his tail. And his hard hair, see, boars have very hard hair. His hard hairs are quivering. Okay, the whole description is given in Bhagavatam. So his very glance was luminous, means when he looked at anyone, his eyes were shining. And he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white dust. So the residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, now these people are still there, though partial dissolution has happened. If you remember, we had said the highest planetary systems don't get submerged, they stay, right? They stay till the end of life of Brahma. Okay. So they heard the roar and they realized that this is the Supreme Lord who has manifested now. And they start offering prayers. So long
Prabhuji, can you mute the others?
So Varaha, after he's come out and he's grown into the size, okay, he starts smelling for the earth, like how Shukara, the boar, they smell for food. Right? Last time we discussed, remember? The animals smell for food. That's not strong. They smell for food. So same way, the Lord
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
smelling for the earth.
Kindly mute the other person.
That he had taken such a marvelously massive form by then. When he dives into the Garbhodaka ocean, it is like splitting it into two. The ocean, and two high waves appeared like the arms of the ocean. ऐसा ये हो के दो arms जैसा खड़ा हो गया. The whole description is given, poetic description. Then the Lord found the earth on the bottom of the Garbhodaka ocean, where the planets rest during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. He personally lifted the earth as a nose with his tusk. They have tusk like this. They have tusk. With that tusk, he lifted, the earth. And it is described in the Bhagavatam that he looked very splendid. It was a beautiful sight. When the Lord, in my screensaver background over here, on Zoom, I have actually put that image. You all can't see it, but those who are online can see it. So anyway, so very beautiful, right? The paintings of ISKCON are very beautiful. There is a book called Krishna Art Book. I don't know how many of you know it. There's a book called Krishna Art Book. Itna bada book hai. All the paintings made by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. It's a bada paintings hai usme, and it's such a thick. All the different paintings. paintings of Dashavatar, paintings of Krishna Leela, paintings of Ram Leela, paintings of Lord Chaitanya Leela, sab hai. So like that, he is looking very beautiful.
Prabhuji, Haribol.
Lifted the earth
Haribol.
and he brought it to the surface of the ocean. And then the Lord Varaha killed the demon Hiranyaksha, who challenged him. When he came out and put the earth on the surface of the ocean, the demon Hiranyaksha challenged him. So this we will cover next time. Today we will not cover. And the sages, after Varahadev came, they glorified Lord Varahadev. The sages have seen that Varahadev has lifted the ocean from him. He says, O Lord, for the residential purposes of all inhabitants, moving and non-moving, this earth is your wife, we Devi, your wife, and you are the Supreme Father. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, along with Mother Earth, in whom you have invested your own potency. Because the Lord has touched the earth. That's why his potency has been invested into the earth. Who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could deliver the earth? There are many prayers at this point. 2, 3 over here. Who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could deliver the earth from within the water? It is not very wonderful for you. However, because you acted most wonderfully in the creation of the universe. Universe आपने नहीं create किया है. तो creation में से एक earth को आपने उठा के कौन सी बड़ी बात है? It's not a big deal this way. By our energy, you have created this wonderful cosmic manifestation. And finally, they say, "Oh Supreme Lord," undoubtedly, after he comes out, any animal after they come out of the water, what do they do? They shake like that, huh? So even he, Varahadev, he shook his body, and he shook his body. The water from his body flew in all directions, and the residents of this Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, they are watching this whole pastime. Right? They are seeing the Lord manifesting this grand form and retrieving the earth. And that they say, we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs by the shaking of your thumbs. Like this, then the Lord accepts their purification. And there is this beautiful prayer, and I'll end with Falashruti. Falashruti मालूम है ना? Shruti का फल क्या है? I'll end with that. So before that, this from the Dashavatar Stotra, we'll just chant that verse. Vasati disana shikare dharani tavalagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshavadrita shukar rupa jai jagadish hare jai jagadish hare jai jagadish hare vasati dasana shikare dharani tava lagna. O Lord Hari, the earth which has become immersed in the Garbhodaka ocean at the bottom of the universe sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon. Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna. So Shashi is moon. So if there's a spot on the moon, like that, the earth is on, like if you are like a moon, your body is like the moon, and the earth is like one spot on that moon, and you have Keshava Drita Shukara Rupa. O Lord Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, Jagadish Hare. Jagadish means Lord of the universe. Hare, O Lord Hari. You have assumed the form of a boar. All glories to you. Like this, we have just covered the appearance of Lord Varahadev, which incidentally was on Thursday. So it's just coincidentally come at the same time. And the Falashruti, it is said, verse number 48 of chapter 13, 3.13. If one hears and describes, in a devotional service attitude, this auspicious narration of Lord Bor, Lord Bor, Varahadev, which is worthy of description, the Lord who is within the heart of everyone is very pleased. I'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments anybody has?
Prabhuji, kindly mute the everyone because a lot of disturbance.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Any questions anybody has on what we discussed? Yes, Prabhu.
If you look at the scientific aspect, it is almost parallel to what you have stated here. Why? The reason being, we call that scientists will call it evolution, changing from one step to another step. That's called evolution. And it must have taken millions and millions of years for which scientists don't know how much time it. But on the other hand, it is a very precise way of developing things. For example, if anything is to be developed, there must be an architecture developed.
Yes.
There must be a planner for it.
Yes.
So all these things are embodied in what you have stated today. So to put it in one word, scientists say there's a saying which you all biologists will know. Ontogeny repeats phylogeny. Ontogeny means the process of development repeats all those stages from which you have passed, reaching to the stage of present. Some become fishes. Now, there were billions and billions of types of fishes. All of them may not survive, but some fishes might have survived even today. There will be amphibians, there will be reptiles, there will be birds. Like that, the system is absolutely comparable situation in both, but its name is different now. This is what happens. If you agree, that
No, I think that's fine. The concept is, there are because today, because of social media, because of Twitter, because of WhatsApp, everyone can express their opinion to everybody. कोई भी चीज का सबके पास कोई ना कोई opinion रहता है. So like for example, there was this WhatsApp university पे एक घूम रहा था, where a mother is talking to her son about how the Vedas are also very scientific. देखो how it expresses that first there is a fish, Meena, Meena avatar, Kurma avatar. First there is fish, then there is Kurma avatar, which is part water, part land. So how the evolution is described in these Dashavatar, Kurma avatar. Then after that there is Varaha avatar, which is like an animal. Then there is Narsingh avatar, which is half animal, half man. So देखो कैसा evolution हो रहा है. It's like I would call it a happy coincidence. But in all these pastimes, simultaneously man is also there in all the pastimes. So even at this time when Varahadev is coming, Manu has already been created, right? So while what Prabhu is saying is a scientific fact, what you're talking is science. I'm not touching that. I'm saying that we should understand that while people may have so many theories, there are a lot of intelligent people in this world. We don't debate. दुनिया में बहुत लोगों को बहुत सारा बुद्धि दिया है भगवान ने. तो बुद्धि अगर हम लोग अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से, if we use our own intelligence, we try to speculate on what is God and what is God's creation, you will never understand. But if we try to take shelter of the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, take shelter of the word of Acharyas, still we may not understand. That's okay. We may still not understand. We may still find that ये क्या है, ज़्यादा हो गया. Kurmadev का size हम लोग सुनते हैं. We hear the size that Kurmadev took, so massive, Matsya avatar, massive. तो सुनते तो हम लोग ये कैसे हो सकता है? How is this possible? So therefore, we may not understand, but we have to accept some things in Shastra. I heard a very interesting thing. I've started attending one morning, every morning, 7:15 to 8:15. We have this devotee, was earlier a brahmachari in Govardhan Eco Village, Balram Shakti Prabhu. So he's a great scholar, very, very deep study of Srimad Bhagavatam, purports given by Prabhupada, purports given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and now he's covering, the Bhagavatam purports of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So that is what he's covering every day morning, 7:15 to 8:15, Monday to Friday. So उसमें one of the points, somebody asked a question that ये कैसे हो सकता है, या acceptable नहीं लगता है, ये थोड़ा difficult होता है. to accept, to understand. Sometimes the words of the acharyas, the words of the shastra are difficult to understand. So you see, if it is difficult to understand, don't think it is the fault of the acharya. It is not the fault of the acharya. It is not the fault of the scripture. It is our fault. हमारे इंटेलिजेंस में वो बैठ नहीं रहा है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि ये गलत. Like an 8-year-old child, if you start explaining to him about nuclear physics, उसको नहीं समझ में आएगा. Doesn't mean nuclear physics is wrong. If you go to a 8th standard child and you talk to him about surds, anyone knows what are surds? Huh? Mathematics में surds, huh? Square root of -1. That's not possible. Calculator में -1 का square root किया तो error देता है. ये कैसे हो सकता है? But then that is used in complex industrial applications. अभी वो बच्चे को समझाओ, वो कहाँ समझेगा? नहीं समझेगा. So we have to also accept that we have our limitations. What we can understand, we should understand. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Anybody? Yes.
Years back, some Varaha and other things in the temples. But the West didn't accept the fact that this thing Earth is round. Why we have not countered that from India, from Bangladesh?
Why we are not countered what?
The theory of Earth being flat.
Well, it is, there. Sorry.
Earth was flat. You always needed with
Google. So his question is, if we knew.
Because I know that there is one temple in
Yeah.
1,400 years old, where the Varaha statue is there along with the goddess goats.
So 1,400, Prabhuji, it is mentioned in Vedas which are million years old. But anyway, वो कोई एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा. बट भागवतम तो सब लोग एक्सेप्ट करते हैं कि ये तो 5,000 साल पुराना है. इसमें सब कुछ डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया गया है. Like as I said, in 3rd canto, as we go along, we'll see a whole gynecological evolution of a baby in the womb of mother. पूरा डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया गया है. 5,000-year-old document. How is it possible? तभी तो कोई सोनोग्राफी था भी नहीं. कैसा मालूम? मालूम है. They just know, right? So, sometimes you have to understand, even I struggle with this, today also, we are fortunate that we have been blessed by association of Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's disciples. We've been blessed. We're just fortunate to have it. Therefore, we have a very deep understanding of our philosophy, of earth, of modes of material nature, karma, time, ये सब अपने को somehow बैठ गया दिमाग में, जिक्सॉ पजल जैसा बैठ गया. तो I also debate sometimes, ये सब ignorant लोग जो होते हैं इस दुनिया में, उनके साथ लड़ना चाहिए क्या? It's of no use. It is of no use. मेरे स्कूल का ग्रुप है. There, like for example, I just exited the school group yesterday evening because it became too much. It was getting too much. Continuously आ रहा है, non-stop garbage being thrown at you. At one point I said, was enough. I don't want this. I said, sorry, but I am leaving. People don't accept, no matter how much. अभी मैं वो कैंची का story बोल ही देता हूँ. ये correct, appropriate time है, to tell this story. So people, because they have certain dharana in their ideas, right, and they have built a whole reputation around it. Therefore, if they accept some other dharana which directly contradicts what they believe, it makes them look foolish. So they will never accept. Like for example, it's called taking positions, right? In negotiations, in arguments, in discussions, political discussions, people take a position. We take a position. हम अपने, like दुर्योधन took a position, मैं अपने जमीन का एक सुई जितना भी जमीन नहीं दूंगा. He took a position. After that, if he gives even one village, फिर तभी क्यों तो इतना बड़ा डायलॉग मार रहा था, अब तो देना पड़ा ना, right? Once you've taken a position, you'll never change. So the story is like this, that there was a woman and there was a man, husband and wife. So husband went and had a haircut. I really haven't told the story here. I'm surprised, huh? You remember? Some people may remember, those who attended on that day probably. So there is this woman and her husband goes and has a haircut and comes back. So after he comes from the haircut, wife बोलती है आज क्या ऐसा थोड़ा अजीब काटा है? हाँ? बोलता हाँ वो मशीन चला रहा था तो थोड़ा वो ज्यादा उसने किया. बोलता है ये मशीन का हेयरकट नहीं है, ये कैंची से काटा है. बोलता है नहीं नहीं कैंची से नहीं काटा है, मशीन से ही काटा है उसने. मैं पता था मेरा बाल काटा है. She says नहीं, ये मशीन में ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता, ये कैंची का ही है. तो he tried to tell her lovingly, नहीं देखो ऐसा नहीं है, वो मशीन से ही उसने बाल काटा है. She said हो ही नहीं सकता, it's not possible. How it's not possible? I am telling you. So there's anger. The anger has started, रूम का टेम्परेचर बढ़ने लग गया. अरे बोल रहा है मेरे काटा है, तुमको कैसे मालूम कि उसने मशीन नहीं लगाया कैंची? She said मैं बोल रही हूँ तो कैंची ही है. Finally it became such a heated debate. उसको रिवर तक लेके गया. बोला तेरे को पानी में डुबाऊंगा. I'll kill you. I can't take this anymore. It becomes such a long debate, मार डालूंगा. He said कैंची ही था, हो ही नहीं सकता मशीन. तो फाइनली वो उसको पानी में लेके ऐसा पानी के अंदर डाल देता है. He pushes her head under and says अभी आखिरी बार पूछ रहा हूं. So she can't say no because mouth is under the water. वो ऐसा हाथ ऊपर कर. मरते मरते भी तो कैंची दिखा के ही मरी वो. This is our situation in the material world. एक बार हम लोग ने कुछ ठान लिया ना, तो हम फिर नहीं अपना पोजीशन चेंज करते. Western philosophers are like that. Because there is so much political and material money connected with their research, they will not change their position. So even if everything is there in scripture as bright as the day, still they don't accept. Like we discussed last few times, that just looking at the world around us, looking at the cosmos, looking at the earth, looking at our own human body, there is no way we can say that there is no God. It's not possible. Such perfect order is there. How is it possible? Now you give this logic to an atheist, he will not accept. The debates about Modi, WhatsApp group में यही होता है ना discussion. There is one anti-Modi camp, there is a Modi camp, bhakts and andhbhakt and non-andhbhakt, right? Long debates going on. You give any number of facts, they will never accept their, they'll never accept their wrong. They will keep arguing. Finally, best thing is to say, जो करना है करो. As Radha Gopinath Prabhu said, I'll end with this. Radha Gopinath Prabhu said, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. A man convinced against his will, मतलब आपने उसको लॉजिक से ऐसा दबोच दिया that वो निहत्था हो गया. अभी क्या मैं आर्ग्यू करूं? Against his will you convinced him, but is of the same opinion still. रूम के बाहर जाके किसी और से बात करने को बोलो, ask someone else to check with him. What do you think? इसके बाद नहीं वो सब बकवास है, मैं बोला वही सही. We should not become like that. We should not become. As devotees, we have to be very careful that if someone is giving us something that is based on parampara, something that is based on shastra, guru sadhu shastra, कोई बोल रहा है, accept it, try it. Doesn't work for you, okay, give it up. हम कहाँ force. वैसे भी ISKCON is not we are not a gun wielding, we didn't have swords in our hand. A lot of the Christians who got converted, Muslims who got converted, were converted on the sword. ऐसा गले पे sword रखा है, बोल, are you going to be Christian or you want to die? I'd rather be a Christian. They became Christian at force. ISKCON में कोई आपको sword नजर नहीं आएगा. Have you ever seen any painting with a sword in it? You see the Lord ऐसा pastime, पुराना pastime में दिखेगा. But you'll never see, no devotee will ever force you to do anything. We can only request you. भी आप सुन रहे हो, आप कैंची मत लो. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Hare. So let us have Kirtan for